I think Rocket Lab is a legitimate company. It's a weird business, needless to say, and it's very unclear if the neutron rocket will succeed, but it doesn't belong in the Bag 7. The next Bag 7 rebalancing it'll be changed. And we are going to make ticker BAG and index BAGGIE or Bag 7. So I'm looking forward to putting it out. Well, we can certainly make the index. Indexes are just, anybody can make an index. ETF will be a little bit trickier, but I think it's doable, yeah boy. I don't have to be directly involved in it. I didn't say GME is worthless in the long run. I think that Ryan Cohen, who's a very good investor ostensibly, has to take $5 billion and turn it into more. As he does that, the gap between the value of GameStop and the price of GameStop should shrink. But I don't necessarily have to pick the stocks either, Braden. I mean, point is, we'll see if we can do the ETF. We'll see. Gotta talk to some lawyers. I'm calling my lawyer. Bag 7 is very elite. You don't just wake up and you're in the Bag 7. You got to destroy so much shareholder value to get in. Inverse Bag 7 might be one of the best performing stocks of all time. I mean, down 30 is a little more conservative. I wish I could just use GPT as my lawyer. That'd be sick. I don't think it's worth paying $13 billion for $4 billion in cash, but I do believe Ryan Cohen will do something with the it's really closer to $5 billion. I think he'll do something with the $5 billion. I think he's going to do something smart with it. Is he going to get it to $15 billion or $12 billion market cap all in one shot? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I wish him luck. Yeah, you do need a lot of AUM, HWAC. Absolutely. It's not an instant money maker. Although I think it's gotten a little easier. The problem is if you're Ryan, everyone in the world is trying to acquire the same stuff. Sycamore, private equity company, bought Walgreens. Everyone wants to buy a cheap retailer. It's not that simple. You remember when they were GameStop was trying to do ETFs and stuff like that? I'm sorry, not ETFs. NFTs and stuff like that. It's not easy to just pop out a new great business. Track record investment's fantastic, but how's that going to help GameStop unless he starts investing GameStop's cash? If he does, it's just going to go down to the natural value. Yeah, Corey's probably going to be a little overvalued on its IPO, but good for that, man. Oh, you're in Huma. Didn't I tell you not to be in Huma, babe? Come on. I want you to be rich, Nicole. Stop. Buka. We're timing Buka out. Time out. 5 minutes. You can't make fun of Nicole. If you demotivate the other side enough, they'll stop buying. Look at Springer. Springer knew how to do it. VKTX sucks. Listen, we all can make mistakes investing. The biggest mistake is when something sucks and you refuse to admit it. You know how I am. Right away, I say, I hate that thing. You hear me doing that all the time. Hopefully, at least. IVVD is just such a volatile thing. And as I said last time I talked about IVVD, it's you got to be patient. Just the second you buy a stock, you will expect it to go up. You're going to be very disappointed trading. When you buy a stock, you should demand returns. You got to demand it. Where's my money? I think Huma's still a short. The FDA literally said it doesn't work. The FDA literally said, keep your positions as small as possible, basically. I was telling guys in the Discord last night, let's do a little math, okay? Let's say you got $100,000, all right? That's what I think a lot of you guys have. Some of you guys have 10 million trading account or more. Some of you guys have 10,000 trading account or more. For you guys with that, you should, or less, you guys should probably, so 100,000. If you got less than 100,000, bro, this is not the place. Get a job. I had a cab driver last night and I was talking with, we had a big company dinner and I was talking with Mark and, I was like, it was up 1 million on this and down on that and this and that. And before we got out, he goes, we're about to get out. We're like, thanks guys. Thanks, man. And we were like, whoop. He goes, no, wait, what platform do you guys use? And I'm like, Uber? We called you on Uber. It's like, no, trading platform. Oh boy. I was like, oh boy, here we go. He said he lost 15,000. And I just don't know that, I think my life is a little different. My life story is a little different from your guys' life story, but to the extent you can trace some of it and do it yourself, it wouldn't be too bad. If you can't figure out a way to get to 100,000 account value through hustling, through various different tricks, then you have a much bigger problem than securities analysis. You have to get a job that pays you well. You have to be much, much better at what you are trying to do. I can't, help you if you can't even get to that level by yourself. I think you can, because remember, trading your way from $10,000 less to $100,000, what's the rate? Let's do the rate required. So the rate required, if you do that in 1 year, you'd have to return 900%. If you do it in 2 years, you'd have to return 216% a year. If you had to do it in 3 years, you'd have to do 115% a year. 4 years, 78% a year. 5 years, 58% a year. 6 years, same-ish. So by the time a 20% net return makes you a really excellent investor, so you'd have to do that for 12 years to turn 10K into 100K. Clearly, this is not kind of what you're trying to do, right? This is like kind of a crazy idea. You need to get an income. If you're lucky on one big trade, guess what? You're going to be unlucky on the next big trade. You're lucky on a couple big trades in a row. Now what? Are you going to stop taking those crazy risks? Just level out and start trying to make smaller amounts of money? Probably not. You're probably going to keep gambling. Realistically, starting with $10,000, it's just a big waste of your time. Yeah, it's a form of gambling addiction too. So I think you want to kind of start with 100K. Again, if you're less than that, I think the likelihood that you're going to make it is just very low. Live below your means. That's good advice. Get a great job. Try to increase your job responsibilities. If you do want to be a great investor, you can make supplemental income. You could try compounding at 20% and then sell your stock picks. Godell's going to actually have a feature like that soon. Where it's like YouTube. You're a content creator. You're creating content with your stock picks. So it's once you look, you can turn any amount of money into any amount of money. The problem is that to get that upside, you need to take a lot of risk. And that downside is implicit in that risk. Now, if you are able to lower your risk taking as your account goes up, then, maybe there's a way. But there's no easy way. There is no arbitrage. So again, I just wanted to leave it at that. But let's do, what were we doing before this? We're talking about, why is I even bringing this up? Portfolio sizing. Somebody asked about sizing. That's where I was going with it. Okay. So here's what I was saying in my Discord last night. So let's say you have $100,000. A lot of people want to hit it out of the park. What if you just tried to make $500 trading? Okay, one trading day, $500. Doesn't seem like a lot. Maybe even make it, $250. $250. That's your goal. Make $250 consistently. If you could do that, you'd be really proud of it. But a lot of people, they want to see their account swing like crazy. Try to make $250 today. That's all you really need to do. And so let's say you do that. Your account value is now a little bit higher. Trading days go by fast. There's only 200, 250. Now some days you're going to maybe have a loss. Okay, so let's do what? 365 divided by 7 times 5, 260, say minus 10 for holidays. This is kind of year one. You're up 60% if you do that. Now you might say, I made $60,000, big whoop. If I'm just living off of that, it's not a very high lifestyle and I have to go back down to 100K all over again. Trading requires time and patience and focus. It's a little frustrating for that, but assume you can do this. Maybe even you could do it with a machine. Let's see, maybe I can give you that machine. All right, let's say when you reach 200K, which is somewhere in the early part of year 2, you say, I'm going to up my threshold. I got to make $300 from now on. 250 is too small. I need to get up to 300. Let's say you get up to 300K. That's happening around the beginning of year 2. And you say, I need to do 400 now. 400K.
That's around year 3. So I'll have to make 500 a day. Now 500 a day is pretty. It's starting to get a little tougher and tougher. But the point of this story is that you should be adjusting the size of your portfolio to try to accommodate for, let's see, so what is this, a 25 basis point gain, right? See, when we bumped it up, we didn't bump it up until right here. Where did we bump it up? 200K. We said go from 250 to 300. 300K, we said go to 400. At 400K, we said go to 500. At 600K, we said maybe go to 700, or how about 800? At 700K, which now these numbers are going by much more quickly. We have 900. 800K, this is only taking a month or two. Try to get to 1,000. And here's 100K to $1 million in 7 years. And the highest return you have to make is 25 basis points a day. Now that's not easy, but you only have to do that for 8 days. And guess what? It's okay if one of these days you're set behind. Yeah, this is without taxes. It's without a lot of things. The point is consistent small gains will add up.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do 25%, 25 basis points a day for a long time. You're just not going to be able to do that. So you could even start with $100 and then try to see if you can ramp it up to 150. And maybe you can ramp it up to 200. And these 200s are going to be pretty hard. But challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to do that. Just say, I'm not going to lose money. If I'm in a losing trade, I'm going to get out. Oh, no. 0.1% is very hard. It's very hard, 𝗠𝗏. And the point of this exercise is to teach you that. It's to show you that you don't have to make 10% in a stock or 10% in your account. VUCA's making fun of us here, but if you're starting out with $100,000, that's what I would do. If you're trying to do more than that, you're basically gambling. And it's okay to take more risk, but I think you should try this because it'll work. Gambling may not work. You might take one of my stock picks and you make it 30% of your portfolio. Well, guess what? I'm wrong a lot, okay? I'm wrong a whole lot. So are other professionals, so are some really good traders out there. So you might just pick the worst stock I buy, or you might pick the worst stock I short. And now what? You gonna blame me? You gonna blame yourself? People aren't willing to do it this way because it is so slow. They look at 7 years as, that's a huge amount of time. So now let's talk about position sizing. So you say I'm wrong on everything. Did you buy cassava? You bought some cassava? You like that, right? Or lectin. Maybe you like lectin better. So that's one piece of advice for somebody whose account is too wild. You're doing it to yourself, and you know that. Jacob, I always say the only people that should be investing is people who love investing. If you're investing for the money, but you actually don't enjoy the process, go find something you like. Life's too short. You can become rich doing anything. You can become rich making semiconductors. You can become rich making software. You can become rich driving a truck and owning a truck driving company. Man, let's get back to work. There you go, Nicole. Instead, you bought a bunch of garbage. Palantir is a real company. Awesome company. Your job's not to be a good person. Market account and the software doesn't care if you're a good person or not. The software just adds up one thing. Yeah, feeling guilty is very common in trading, unfortunately. I go through that too. Oh, I think it's very reasonable to hold 50% cash. But use the cash intelligently. A lot of people use the cash to double down, which is not what you should be doing. Okay, so we have a bunch of weird stocks to look at today. There's only one American stock on this list, which you're happy to, pick. But here's the poll. So Linde does industrial gases, oxygen, nitrogen, argon, hydrogen, helium, carbon dioxide, monoxide, electronic gases, specialty gases, acetylene. 33 billion revenue for the last 3 years. Ambient air is feedstock. Pretty cool business when air is your input, right? SuperMicro, 22 million shares, down 7%. Now, in a situation like SuperMicro or GameStop or even D-Wave, these are stocks where the market is trying to figure out what the price is. And it's the market is telling you something is wrong with this price because people are trading, and trade is a disagreement. A trade is, I want to give you cash for this stock, or I want to give you stock for this cash. And the more people that disagree, the more likely it is that, one, the price of the stock is not exactly correct, and two, that maybe the price of the stock is going to become corrected. That's just, a good way to think about it. Volume is disagreement to me. Rigetti down 1% on 22 million shares. NEO, same thing. Call it $50 or $60 billion have traded on these 25 stocks. So, the market sometimes is a little smaller than you might think. Is volume really disagreement? I think so. You've decided to change out your holding for cash or change out your cash for the holding. It's a big decision. Something forced you to do that, whether it was the price was attractive or you think the price is going to become less attractive or more attractive. I've already done IVD. I like it. The main hotkey in Gödel is the backtick key, which should be to the left of your 1 key, and on the top, north of your tab key, above your tab key and to the left of the 1 key. And that gets you to this thing, the terminal. You can also click here to get there. And from there, you type in your ticker. Let's say, what do you guys like? Your favorite stock, Robinhood. You type in hood. You can just press enter to get the quote, or you can type hood, press tab if you want, or you could just press F8 or tab again, and then you have to learn all these commands. And it's very backward compatible with Bloomberg. So if you want to look at the stockholders of Robinhood, you type in HDS and you see all the typical indexers own the stock, or you can use this guy to see who owns the stock with a heat map. And then the next hotkey you should learn is escape. So you escape to get out of there. Again, you press tab. The backtick key. And if you want to look at, say, Eli Lilly, you press F8. Again, I like F8 instead of the tabs. But you have to know F8 means equity, which means stock. So you press F8, and you can do focus, and you get this little guy that you can move around your screen. Maybe you make them really big, maybe you make them small, and you can sort of design your own little widgets. Again, press escape twice. Now maybe you want to look at IonQ, and you want to look at their financial statements. You do FA, and you hit enter, and you can see that they are useless and worthless company. You can download these financial statements. You can check it out yearly, all kinds of stuff. Press escape twice. Back to this, or you can navigate it sort of the normal way. So CF is company filings, one of the most important ones. N is for news. We spend a lot of money on news to bring it straight to you in a real-time way, so you get news as fast as anybody else on Wall Street. The behavior is strange. Again, GameStop is up because they're going to buy, they say they can buy Bitcoin. Anyone can buy Bitcoin. Literally anyone in the world can buy Bitcoin. It's become very easy to do so. So that's not, I think necessarily something to celebrate. And yeah, this is all because of, money printing and things like that. But, this will correct itself because the human emotions cannot be overridden. The human emotions of, I have this money, I'm going to buy crazy stuff with it. That's just never not happened. Look at tulip bulbs. So inevitably, even with the money printing, you'll get destruction of capital, right? You will get destruction of funds. I don't know about Bear Cope. Like I got more money than you. My performance is better than you. So I don't know what you mean about Bear Cope. I'm chilling. I'm not short GameStop. I like to buy stuff where I have a really good idea about how I'm going to make my money and when and where. Well, I think money supply should increase over time. I think GameStop's going to be in the baggy 30 for a long time. Now again, Ryan might
be able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. But look at Berkshire Hathaway, okay? Berkshire Hathaway is trading at a discount to its fair value. I used to do it, Isaac. I don't want to be a day trader. I'm toying with the best way to do the live stream. You know, lots of different ideas. You'll see it evolve a bit. We may even do a studio, or I may shut the studio down. We may do a co-host, a co-anchor. I don't know. Again, yes, we're shutting the studio down again. Not yet, Will, but soon.